What's up, Beastcoast Pokemon? I'm Luke from Celio's network, and the Pokemon World Championships is coming up on August 18th, and I'm here to give you my top 3 picks for the Pokemon TCG World Championships. And whether you are competing yourself or watching from home along with me, I'm excited to see how all of the action turns out. So let's get into the 3 decks I think are the most poised to do well and possibly win the Pokemon TCG World Championships 2022.
Hey guys, Cyber. Relax, I was just gonna get there. Anyway, as this little buddy was saying, 80% of you aren't subscribed to the channel, so hit that subscribe button. It really helps. Hey, what Pokemon are you?
My first deck on this list is going to be Arceus Inteleon, and that should come of no surprise if you've watched any of my videos or even followed my tournament runs this season so far. Arceus Inteleon quickly became a comfortable pick for me. I also think very highly of the deck in terms of skill expression and options that the deck presents you between the deck building process and also once you've already built the deck in tournament. The big question I think players have on their mind in terms of building this deck is, do you include Radiant Charizard and Fire Energy? Because Radiant Charizard is such a strong attacker, and Arceus Inteleon did not already use a Radiant Pokemon. If I was playing Arceus Inteleon at Worlds in day 1, I would be playing a list similar to what you see on screen now, focusing on the consistent setup and using Charon's Care as much as possible to out-heal your opponent while taking prizes with Trinity Nova. My second pick is where it's going to get very interesting, and I also want to add the caveat. This would only be for day 1 competition where there's a larger field of players and more players probably selecting safer decks like Arceus Inteleon, Palkia Inteleon, and Mew VMAX, which is why my second pick would be Regigigas. This isn't a deck that I am fond of. I am not really using any personal bias selecting this deck. It's really just because it has a great matchup spread against the decks that I think most people will be considering safe to play on day 1. Like I said, Arceus decks, Palkia, Mew VMAX, those are all on paper at least favored for the Regigigas deck. It's one of those decks, and I think there's a deck like this for all major events where it seems too good to be true on paper. And then you realize, the deck has its own consistency issues, which most decks can have. It's not exactly auto wins against these decks that I'm talking about, and you're not guaranteed to hit the top of the meta. You could hit the more rogue decks or the lower down the tier list, the lower down in the metagame decks. At day 1, there will be plenty of them, but I think Regigigas could secure a lot of people their way through day 1 into day 2, and then they can change their deck in day 2 if they wish. So Regigigas would be my second pick, just purely based off of its matchup spread against the top of the meta that I would expect to be very popular at the World Championships. And of course, my third deck for either day 1 or day 2 would be Palkia Inteleon. Palkia Inteleon is either the best deck or the second best deck in the format, rivaled only by my first choice, Arceus Inteleon. And Palkia Inteleon, where Arceus Inteleon has consistency, excessive healing, that loop of Charon's Care that you can put your opponent in kind of an infinite situation of not being able to take a knockout on your main Pokemon. Palkia has raw power instead of that healing. Palkia is the reason Arceus needs to heal. Palkia chases down V Pokemon on the bench, and it can one-shot V-Star and V-Max Pokemon in the active. It's very consistent, I feel, because of the Iridas and Battle Passes. So I think Palkia Inteleon is one of the smoothest decks, most aggressive decks. It does have a target on its back, but I think the deck functions more often than not and can allow you to skill your way through some games that maybe shouldn't have been so easy for you to win. So Palkia Inteleon would be my third and final pick out of my top 3 for the World Championships 2022. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like I said earlier, good luck if you're competing at Worlds, and have fun watching along from home if you are not going to London. We'll see you next time here on Beastcoast Pokemon.